Today, I can't wait to share with you where we're at with our expenses on the Stitches Challenger. I think you're going to be really surprised.
This is My Cars Shop.
As you guys know, sometimes I get some flack for the way I do things, but there is a method to my madness. I'm not kidding when I say I don't have a lot of money to spend on projects like this. So I thought it would be fun today to share with you what I would have spent had I done things the recommended way that some people say you should versus what I'm actually doing. So let's get into it and let's do the breakdown of these categories and what the market value is for those things if I was to go out and buy them, whether it's brand new or used or whatever, versus what I actually spent to get those items. The first category is the bartered items. We're looking at things like a bell housing, console, 4-speed transmission, clutch pedals, pistol grip shifter, 8 3/4 rear axle, sure grip chunk, stuff like that. There's a whole big long list of stuff. I'm not reading all that. The market value of those items that I have bartered for, if I was to have to go out and buy them at current costs, any idea? $5? $25? $325? We know it's more than that, right? Any idea what that number is? About $4,325 in value for items that I have bartered for. What did I actually spend for that? For anything associated with these bartered items? Guesses? Other than my time or maybe something I already had for 20 years that's been kicking around that I might have traded, I'll include that in there. There's no value on that. Chances are I didn't pay anything for it anyway. I would have got it in some other deal. That's right. Nothing. I had no cost in $4,000 worth of stuff that I've bartered in one way or another. So remember, I broke this down in that other video if I didn't mention that I do 4 different things: the bartering, the donated stuff, the fabricated, and the purchase. So what items have been donated to the channel? What is the value? What are some of those items? For example, we had somebody donate a replacement trunk floor for the channel to save some time for me because they could see how much time I was spending fabricating things. Thank you. It's huge. We had a door skin donated. That was a takeoff but new. We had an extra set of front fenders donated. We had some bucket seats out of a newer Charger or a Challenger donated. We had an instrument cluster donated and some other things. Market value of those items, 0, 9, 1. Any idea what this number is? Take a guess. It's about $1,190 worth of items that were donated. Now there was a little associated cost with this. If you have any idea what that might be, you wouldn't know. It was basically some shipping or things like that that were associated with people that wanted to send me something. Hey, can you cover the shipping? Stuff like that. Oops, wrong number. 5. That's it. $55 in minimal associated costs for $1,190 worth of items that come directly from viewers on the channel. The next item is fabricated items. This is things like the rear frame rails, the trunk extension. I'm looking at the car. The trunk, which is the very first piece that I fabricated, was the gas tank trunk floor support, gas tank strap mount trunk floor support. All of the floor pans for the car, even this, making a rear valance, a cutout rear valance out of one that was a non-cutout. We fabricated parts to repair the transmission, the torsion bar cross member. We hand built a transmission cross member. We hand built the 4-speed hump. I'm not remembering, the inner wheel well on this side. We don't know the other side yet because we don't have it apart. All of that stuff that I fabricated, if I had gone out and bought top of the line AMD stuff for all of this, a whole floor pan assembly, rear frame rails, this includes all the shipping costs and all that stuff. Any idea what this number would be? 0, 5, 0. There's another number here. Any idea what it might be? It's about $3,050 worth of stuff. And there might be more I'm not thinking of. If I had gone out and bought one of these instead of making it, if I had bought the floor pans instead of making it, if I had bought the frame rails instead of making it, if I had bought a new torsion bar cross member, etc., etc., etc. $3,050 worth of stuff. That does include the shipping. Doesn't seem like a huge amount of money. What have I spent actually? And this is just raw materials and nothing else. Any idea? I spent about $400 in raw sheet metal, which was a 4x8 sheet of 18 gauge steel and a 4x8 sheet of 20 gauge steel. That's it. I bought $3,000, $400 in raw materials that I spent, and the rest of it was just my time. Now, some people would say, well, geez, $2,600 worth of your time, your time's worth a lot more than that. You know what? This car wouldn't be where it is if I had to go out and buy this stuff. I don't have any money to do this. The only way this gets done is if I make the stuff myself. Otherwise, this car would still be sitting here and I'd be doing nothing with it. So a $2,600 savings there. Now the next one, the purchased stuff. So this, what all is in this list? Let's see. Taillights, gas tank straps, steering column, rear bumper. I included the dash bezel that I never received. That was a ripoff. And this includes the quarter panels, which were Sherman parts, which were patch panels, rather than what many people said I should do was go out and buy the full AMD quarter panels. Why didn't I do that? You're going to see exactly why. The shifter rods for the 4-speed, all of that stuff. If I was to have gone out and bought everything top of the line instead of what I did actually purchase for the car, which was less expensive versions or things like that I could make work, like for example the rear bumper was a blem, stuff like that, what I would have spent, 3, 7, 4, any idea what this number is here? It would have been about $5,473 that I would have spent at fair market value for either new stuff or high quality used stuff, a new bumper instead of the blem that I bought, whatever it would be. I saved, guess what this number, and this is the number here, includes the purchase price of the car. What I paid for this car was in a junkyard. It was in a pile. There was a car on top. The roof was caved in. My buddy got it at scrap value. He sold it to me for what he paid for it. I paid $300 for it. I have a $440 for this car that I actually purchased before that I paid, I think, $350 for. It was a good deal. Those numbers, the car price, all that stuff, are all included in this. I actually have everything except a drive shaft and a driver's window that if this car was back on its feet in the condition it is, it could all be put together and driving. I have everything now for the car other than those two items. So what have I actually spent cash money out of pocket for this project? 50 cents? $2.50? It's a little more than that. $62.50? It's a little more than that. $62.50. Okay, any idea what this number here is going to be? We have spent on items that could have been purchased, but because we did super deals and so forth, $2,062.50. So the total here, all of this added together, had I done what the gurus said I should do and going out and buying all new stuff and throwing new parts at this, 8, 0. Sorry, that's a 3. Some of you knew that because you already added this up. 0, 4. $14,038 had I gone out and bought everything new for this to get this project to where it is right now. So this is the number we're looking at here. Our total, 50 cents. We have $2,517.50 in this car to date. Because of the way I do things, because I don't have the money, because I fabricate everything, which is what I love to do anyway, we have saved $11,520.50. Maybe you can begin to understand a little bit of the method to my madness, why I do what I do. It is a huge cost savings. I've talked about it on the channel before that my philosophy is not to go out and just open up a parts catalog and start throwing money at it. I don't have that kind of money in the first place. Second place, I can do so many more projects around the shop because I've saved this much. I promise you that in all the projects I have here, Becky and I were talking about this yesterday, what I actually have invested in even the cars that are done is shockingly little. I figure by the time this Challenger is done, and it's kind of a target that I have, I should have less than $10,000 in this Challenger when it's done. Now, some people would say, you're going to have a car that's worthless that you've got $10,000 invested in. It's not worthless to me. I will be out there enjoying it and driving it, while some other people are still looking at their car in the shop and still writing checks and ordering parts. That's part of my goal here. And I know you guys that support the channel, you get this. That's why you're here. And that's why I appreciate you. When we look at what we have received in donations to the channel, in parts to the channel, as well as YouTube revenue. Now granted, the YouTube revenue goes for things like paying the heat bill and other miscellaneous supplies and stuff like that. But it brings this number way down if this was the only thing we were doing. Of course, we have a whole bunch of other projects going on here as well. I can't emphasize enough that I know this isn't everybody's cup of tea, but I want you to understand the methodology that for this little bit of money, and yes, I've been doing this all my life. I have 40 years worth of accumulated tools and equipment and all that stuff, and I'm very blessed to actually be in a place where I have a decent sized shop. All that stuff. Even if I had unlimited supplies, I probably wouldn't do things any differently than I'm doing them now. I enjoy this, and that's the biggest thing is, even if I had this $14,000 to just throw, and I thought about it, but I realized it was unrealistic, and I would be ordering parts and never accomplishing anything. Plus with the supply chain issues we have now, it's a huge cost savings. It's also very good therapy for me to come out here and be challenged to look at a piece of metal and how can I make that and how can I make this, and that is what I thoroughly enjoy. And to me, the value of that enjoyment is far, far, far. If I was to put that number over here, I couldn't put a number on it, because that to me is what this is all about. If you're not having fun, if you've sucked the joy out of your hobby by making it this money game, rethink that. It doesn't have to be. The main thing is, are you doing what you enjoy? That's what matters. The hobby is just that. This is something that we play. This is something that we do for fun. This is something that shouldn't be a stressor in our lives. And I wanted to share those numbers with you to say that no matter your financial situation, if you watch, if you're savvy, I mean, even though I have a YouTube channel and we've done about $1,200 worth of stuff directly from you guys, the bulk of this stuff didn't come from that. And I could still be going a long ways on this project based upon the way I've always done things. YouTube has just been an added blessing in that for me. This is the way I've always done it. Every car you see here on the property, for the most part, has been built to one level or another like this. The 47 Ford is kind of a hybrid of, I purchased some stuff for that car, and I hand fabricated a lot of stuff for that car. I wanted to get that car done relatively quickly, so I did purchase a little bit more back when money was a little freer, but I still don't have a huge amount of money into that car, just a lot of time. The GTS is the same way. That car was built pretty much with everything I had kicking around, other than a pair of quarter panels, some fiberglass fenders and hood, and a roll bar. The rest of that car was pretty much hand built. Including the motor was built with stuff I've had kicking around the shop for a long time. Every car here is like that. I purchase what I have to, like quarter panels, these cheap Sherman panels. I like them because they look really good when they're done. No, they're not the high quality AMD, but this isn't a concourse car. So learn the context of what you have and realize that where there's a will, there's a way. You can find a way to make it happen if you really want to. Don't make excuses. Make ways to make things happen. All right, that's going to do it for this one. I appreciate it. It's been a long time since we did a cost update on this, and I thought it would be fun to share that with you. The only thing I'm still lacking for this car, actually, wouldn't stop me from driving it. I don't have a grill, and I don't have a RT hood for it, and I definitely want an RT hood. There may be a few other things, but for the most part, some things I have lined up already with some of you viewers. It's just a matter of them getting here at some point when I need them. But we're really moving forward. This car should be back on its wheels within the next 3 to 4 months, I would hope. All right, that's going to do it. We're over on the Face thing. Instagram loves us, cookies, blah, blah, blah. You know all that stuff. Like, subscribe, share. We appreciate it. And you got to end it the way that it needs to be ended, right?